Thank you, and welcome everyone to the McCroaks Late-Night Show. We have a wonderful show for you all tonight. Carl took a nap before the show, so he should be well rested. J.GrayDigital is charged up, and he's ready to go. No, like literally, he's been stuck in that TV set for weeks now, so he's ready to go and touch some grass. But the show must go on. Sorry, J.Gray. But, no, really, J.Gray, thank you so much for being here, and thank you too, Carl. I'm really excited for tonight's show. You know, we have two very awesome guests. We will be bringing out the amazing Wench to talk about his project, Wench 2043. We also will be bringing out the bastard ringleader himself, HashBastards, to talk about, well, the HashBastards project and his experiences as a one-on-one artist. So, if you would, please show a warm welcome to our first guest, Wench with Wench 2043. Wench, welcome to the show. It's so great to have you. So, Wench, you've been an artist since the dawn of paper and pen. Can you tell us a bit about how you got into NFTs and your Wench 2043 project?
Oh, that's a really good question. So, while I go by Wench 2043, my real name's Christopher Winkler. I've been an artist since the mid-'80s. Met a gal at a party playing Twister, and all our friends were artists in Phoenix, about 84 or so. And they I saw if they can do it, I can do it. And they bought me a bunch of paint and canvas, and I started painting and then doing collage and performance and noise music and magazines and drawings and whatever. And did that till about the late 90s, kind of 2000. And then I've been in commission sales for most of my life. Didn't have a lot of time or space to do art. And about early 2021, I was kind of yearning to start painting again, because I hadn't painted in quite a while. I think the last stuff I did was the Rostas Cream of Wheat guy. And so this was like early 2021. And then I saw the Beeble sale of 69 million for a JPEG. My head exploded. I'm like, what is this? And that was my first hearing of NFTs. Kind of got more inclined. Saw the Bay Area Yacht Club was taking off, exploding. Then the crypto punks were old, much older, but starting to take off also. I'm like, I got to get in this. So started reading some articles, read about the expansion punks and how they did their generative process based off the punks, the original punks. And I figured, okay, let's do something like that. But I hadn't drawn or painted in over 20 years. So I have been doing collages for a website, more political collages, and figured I'd do a collage based on an old painting from about mid-'90s. And I had a great time with it. So the painting's called Wench 2020, and she ended up being the mother of Wench 2043, who was killed in the Swedish War of Aggression. She was pregnant. They did an emergency C-section with a bayonet, and they pulled little Oksana out with some hot dog tongs. That's all they had, and that's where her head's a little twisted. And it's now 2043. She's 23 years old, and she's out, doing her wench thing. And so it kind of was a progression. I had a failed mint in mid-January of 2022. Tried listing them on Polygon at the end of the month, and no one gave a flip about them. And then I met a guy, Andy Swole, who helped me with the contract and the website, and we're minting, and we minted almost 20 of the wenches from the regeneration after the failed mint. And so, I'm tickled pink that we've got
20%,
this far.
right, Wench?
Just about. 408 is 20%, so we're almost there. And I think Kush told me that's more than most people get to. 408 is quite a bit, or 392 is quite a few NFTs. So
it's huge, man.
So granted, they're $7, but it's still a lot. And thanks to some whales and giga whales and mega whales, we're approaching that 20%. And I'm just going to keep grinding away.
So, Wench, what are some of the goals that you have for Wench 2043?
Well, the goals would obviously be to sell out 2,043 of these. And, our roadmap is basically to give one away at 10%, two away at 20, three at 30, and give away wenches to reward people for, participating. We've also started doing airdrops of really cool artist collabs, and they'll either take a wench template, or we'll kind of do something together, or they'll just draw something off the top of their head. So we're dropping those one a week to only to owners, of record based on the wallet. We're shifting to a Friday weekly drop of a collab, and we've done three, and there's a month's worth lined up. So there's, it's going to be something really cool to give back to the people who've supported the Wench.
Well, Wench, I have absolutely loved watching the project take off. I've loved all the airdrops and collabs you're doing. But so you also have a deal with Maddie's, the NFT merch store. Is that correct?
Right. It's Mad, M-A-D-D, D as in David, IES.co. And they're one of the biggest swag store merchants for NFT owners or issuers. And there's a good 20 or 30 that they do the swag for. And, it costs money. I paid to get in there. But one of the things I read from, it was actually the Toddler Pillars roadmap was, at 20% or whatever, have a Maddie's store. I was like, well, that's cool. What is a Maddie's store? And so I went and checked it out, and swag. I was like, that's pretty cool. So even if you own one wench, you can hook your wallet to their store and order t-shirts or metal prints. Like Hash has ordered 3 huge metal prints. They're gorgeous. Or, tumblers or phone t-shirts, phone holders, whatever, vibrators, who knows, of your wench. And you can list how many wenches. Even if you own 50, you can only list 1 or 2. So it's really up to you. So that's just an added gift that I give to the wench holders. Plus they get a free 8x8 print just for hooking their wallet up.
So can holders profit off their own stores created with Maddie's?
So it's a full store, and they get, I think, 10 or 20% of the profits. So, you got so say it's a t-shirt costs whatever, 15 or 10, and sells for 30. Maddie's is going to, obviously take a chunk of it for all their costs, and there's a 10 or so that you get, and I think even the wench might get a little off it. I have to be, I haven't seen any yet. I know Hash ordered a couple of things, but so we both can, you can profit as well. And so you can market it. You own the IP of your wenches. I'm not going to do any of this bullshit saying, you don't own it anymore, or the world owns it, because I don't think that's right. I do want to keep artistic use of it for marketing purposes only, but it's technically your image now. And until you sell it, you can access the store. Once it's sold, the new owner then could hook up their wallet to Maddie's. And, we highly suggest MetaMask if anyone's going to do it. It just seems to be, at first I hated it, now I love it. And it's a great wallet, and it's the most popular.
This might be a question more for Maddie's, but maybe do wench holders who started a Maddie's store with their wench, do they transfer that store over if they sell that NFT?
I got to look at that, because really the store is supplied pre-stocked. So for every image you want to show, there's a good 20, 40, 50 things that it's on. And, baby clothes and dog t-shirts and, whatever. And, but I got to believe, I'll confirm if they sell it and someone else gets and they hook the wallet up, I think they lose the store, but I'll confirm that the seller. And I don't have any problem with people selling them. I mean, the whole idea, I priced them at 0.0069 Ethereum for people to kind of come in. If you're a paper heads, you can sell them, hopefully flip them or make a little bit of coin. and then the diamond hands will hold out until later when the floor raises. Yeah, should it raise, when it raises, then they can cash out later too. Because I know some people like to wait, some people like to hold and then sell. So others like to sell right away. Whatever you want to do, it's your thing. I'm just so glad that you're in Wench Acres is what we call everyone now. They're residents of Wench Acres.
Well, Wench, you know I love the Wench Acres.
I want to know more about this Twister game. I seriously though, I do want to know, like, who was your favorite artist back in like the 80s, man?
Oh, wow. Well, that's really good. Well, I got influenced by the Dadaists, the Surrealists, Max Ernst, Kurt Schwitters, the Cobra Group, which is kind of after World War II, Copenhagen, Brussels, Netherlands, whatever, those guys. They did super primitive, almost caveman kind of painting stuff. So all that's just really been a huge influence. The collage. Collage is one of my favorite things because you can take so many disparate objects and make something completely different. So those were the people that I really admired back then, because that's maybe 40 years of art, and the old stuff's fine, but that was kind of my main influence. Right now, with some of my biggest influences, or our next guest, Mr. Bastard, who helped me when I needed guidance and had questions and support and introduction to so many just beautiful people. I'm really thankful for that. What's next? I don't know. We can do something like, I'm kind of looking at the idea of maybe doing artificial intelligent versions of these, or 3D, or what do you call the 3D versions, or even some kind of Wench Acres where there's a big spread and farms and livestock, and who knows what you can grow from something like that.
That's super awesome. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. So, we're minting now at wench2043.com. So it's just super, it's the same name, no space or anything. And for a gentleman I met, Andy Swall, who did the contract, you can get up to 20 at a time for like $3 to $8 gas, which is really great. And so, we reward the whales at 10, you get an extra one. Mega whales 20, you get 2 extras, so you get 3. And then a giga whale who gets 50, there's only one so far. They'll get 5 more, so that's 8. And I just really like to give back, and I hope you guys make money off this, and I hope you enjoy. It's just something that like I always say, if you're tired of apes, punks, and pixels and pastels, here's something totally refreshing that is unique, handmade art by a real artist who's 62 years old.
Hey, Wench.
Hey, man.
How's your week going?
It's going good. I'm just about got to the end of figuring out my crypto taxes for 2021. And, every week I'm doing a retweet contest. So we're about halfway through 50 retweets, and I give away 4 NFTs, 3 other cool artists plus a Wench. And automatically, they got to follow us. And so, Jay, you're a marketer. The idea of 50 or more people following 4 different artists every week kind of starts adding up. And it's one of the prerequisites to win one of the giveaways. And so we've had, some new friends I've made. They're getting a lot of, they're starting to get some traction. And that's, I think, what it's all about, to give back to other artists.
Nah, that's cool. That's awesome to hear you say it. Now that is, taking advantage, well, not taking advantage in a bad way, but utilizing, collaborations, what I'm saying, and giveaways and stuff is shit, man, can be a game changer for a lot of people during a slow time in the space, right? Can really both for you, the other artist, and the people that are entering, right? Keeping things fun. It's funny you said that, because I'm working on this week a video of some unique giveaway contest ideas, right? That I don't, not to sound like weird, but some of them that I don't see being used. So like, I'm looking forward to sharing some ideas and hearing some like crazy, new and engaging and fun contest ideas. So it's funny you said that. Good job, man.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I think it's really important that, you know, I'm not a legend yet. People have said you're semi-legendary. I get a big kick out of
Well,
that.
you're old enough to be one, so you're halfway there.
Oh, I'm halfway there. But the idea to use, all right, so yeah, obviously I'm using the platform to promote myself. I mean, that's marketing 101, but at the same time, drawing some others whose art I like and help promote them and get them 50 retweets, and we hope, you know, 10 or follows from 5 to 20 new people. You know, half of them probably already follow them, but probably a lot don't. And it takes that follow and that introduction, and to see that they're steady and producing, where they might go and want to buy their art and just, you know, spread the wealth that way.
I like it, man. Keep up the good work for sure.
And thank you. And I'm a student of Dan Kennedy, who's one of the best marketers. I think he's hanging on by a thread. But you know, the swipe and deploy. So, you know, hey, I've seen Hash and Shill doing the drops. It's like, God, that's a great idea. And so instead of and doing it in a collab with a Wench, and so far the 3 that I've sent out are the 4. I mean, they're stunning, and so are the future ones. So, you know, you get some good art, you promote other people, you do giveaways. I don't know. I'm trying, man. I'm not going to be on Facebook at all. That's a very evil platform. I haven't really got anything from Instagram, even though some people have 20,000. I don't know. So I'm trying new things, and what Toad's doing with the interviews on YouTube really makes sense.
Wench, thank you so much. That really means a lot. I'm truly grateful that you're here. It's been very fun with you around, and I think most people in this space who have had the pleasure of interacting with you probably feel the same. So thank you so much for coming out, Wench. I've truly enjoyed it.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me here. I'm eternally grateful.
So we're going to bring out our next guest, who probably doesn't need an introduction. The IRS knows him as poor, but we all love and know him as the one and only Hash Bastard. Hash, you bastard, come on out. Hash, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, Toady? How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm just living the Toad dream, you know. Got my own talk show and everything, if you haven't heard.
We just went to Wench Church, so, you know, I'm just feeling like I read the gospel.
I know, there was so much knowledge in that.
Steeped in tradition, that Wench over there.
You know, half the time, I don't even know what Wench is talking about.
You know, he's of the time, you know.
I have to look it up in references to the old world encyclopedias.
Yeah, just here, let me help you out. It's in the Old Testament.
yeah.
Yeah, like you guys don't even know who Jimmy Cagney was.
No, I don't.
I knew who James Cagney was, but I'm an old tortoise.
Wait, who is he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was an actor.
James Cagney is
he was an old gangster actor. He was a gangster in the 20s, 30s, you know, and then he kind of started dancing. So who the fuck, you know, what the fuck?
Wench, I thought all gangsters back then danced.
I like the dancing, to be honest. That's just me, though.
Yankee Doodle Dandy. That's another. You guys have no idea what the fuck Yankee Doodle.
I know Yankee Doodle Dandy. I know that.
Oh, okay, good.
This is fantastic. Yeah, Hash, all this is in the Old Testament. we can check that out later.
Yeah, I know. Fuck, I gotta read those books.
First off, it's awesome to have you on the show. It's totastic you're here.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. Love this kind of shit. This is awesome.
Now, you're gonna have to excuse me. I'm dealing with a bit of a cold though.
What, you got a frog in your throat, bro? It was just a toad joke, you know. I was just, you know, here all night, so.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. We might have to get you a hotel room though if that's the case.
Nah, hey, I'm cheap. I'll stay at the Holiday Inn.
Yeah. All right, up under the car in the parking lot.
Exactly, in the parking lot.
No, really. So, how did Hash Bastards get started? It seems like you've been here for as long as Wench has been alive. So, what got that going?
Oh God, I mean, yeah. I guess back in March of last year, March 2021, that's when it all started. But I mean, you know, why did I start NFTs? I guess I've always kind of had an itch to do some kind of content creation, you know, build a community kind of thing. But it never really felt right to be, I don't know, like nothing ever really clicked for me. Like, oh, this would make sense for me to do. But you know, I've always been very interested in like current events and news, and obviously I love, you know, comedy and making jokes and things like that. And then and I'm a writer, you know, that's my background. So I'm not even, you know, technically an artist, first of all, you know, or like by trade. I'm a writer. So when I was, you know, exploring NFTs back in you know, early, I guess late February, early March, and I was hearing about it from, you know, I think people made a big headline, and people were talking about like, this is going to be the new way you see receipts and get receipts and all this kind of shit. And there's like, you know, speculation on like, this is like a new kind of art market kind of thing. And I was like, this is like really fucking cool. There were the biggest, you know, NFT community back then even was still Twitter, and it was still really small back then, but there was, you know, that was like the biggest group of people, and it was really easy to see like, oh, you could just click on the hashtag and be like, okay, these are all the fucking NFT motherfuckers, and you know, there's like 50 of them, but still it was like, okay. And you know, hanging around that little space for like 2 weeks, just trying to figure out what the fuck was going on. I was like, okay, this is, I mean, I see potential here for, one, growth, two, like community building, and three, brand building. And now, like, you know, those are all three things that I'm kind of passionate about. So I was like, fuck it, let's try to do something. And back then the whole market was like pixel art. That was the main fucking thing. Everything was pixel art. And of course, you know, that was probably because CryptoPunks were, you know, the biggest thing back then. So everybody was kind of just trying to copy that shit. But I didn't know how to do fucking pixel art. You know what I'm saying? I was not like, I couldn't fucking hop onto some program and do some pixel bullshit. I was like, I cannot do this. So like I had to do something that I knew that I could do long term. And why I liked the idea of Hash Bastards was like, one of the main projects that I like found back then was hash masks. And that was that project, like in my head, got me to click like what was really cool about NFTs, because this was a sort of a collaborative project where it was done by like 1,500 artists all over the fucking world. And all these different artists did all these different trades, and they combined it all together into this project. And I mean, I thought that was just fucking sweet. And the longer you held the piece, you know, you could change the name of it to, you know, something you chose. I'm like, God damn, this is fucking incredible. And when I was you know, thinking about all the things that sort of are in my wheelhouse. You know, it's writing, it's drawing, it's comedy, I guess, or telling jokes. Probably just, you know, that's something I've always done is, you know, tell jokes, try to be funny. And you know, branding and building a community. Those are kind of the big things that I saw I could bring together into one thing finally. You know, I felt like NFTs was like, oh my God, this could be the thing, where I'm not just, you know, posting random shit on TikTok and hoping for the best, but I'm like building something, you know, that's intentional, and long term. In my mind back then, it was like, it felt like starting a YouTube channel in 2008. You know, it felt like, how can NFTs be like content creation? And in my mind, it was like the idea of the memes behind, you know, crypto and trading, and stocks like that. I was way into like stock trading and that kind of shit from like 2018 to 2020. I mean, that's kind of where I got into the whole like finance investment thing anyway. It was like fucking penny stocks and options and shit like that. But when I started Hash Bastards, it was mostly memes and jokes about that, like investment culture, like Wall Street bets and Elon Musk and things like that. And then as the NFT community grew, you know, I saw more and more of an opportunity to be that person, that sort of comments on the NFT community, you know, live and in a meta way, that sort of jokes on everybody in like a South Park style kind of way, you know, because as more and more people got into NFTs, I think the more and more absurd the space got. And I think, you know, the idea of bastards being people that are just like, you know, fucking jack-offs, you know, like there's so many of those people in this space now. So, I mean, it really is prime for content in that regard. So, you know, I wanted to create something that I would have fun with, you know, because I think that's something that's kind of key out here that even back then I didn't see a lot of like just people being funny or fun, or it was always, it was very much like, you know, art forward. And to me, I thought, you know, there was an opening for, I don't know, something different. And I just tried it. And I honestly, I think like anybody who was in my exact spot, you know, a year ago in March, if they started exactly then and like did this every single day, exactly like I did, like you would probably be in my same position, or probably like, you know, would have more followers or something. Like I just think like being around that long has really helped in my growth, but also the consistency of it being like, oh, I started on that, you know, whatever fucking day it was in March of 2021, and it's been every single day since. You know, I think if anybody fucking did that, they could do this shit too.
Yeah, I feel like you've set a lot of precedents in the space with the way you conduct your brand and your community. I mean, at least that's what it seems from my Toad perspective. But I have to ask, how did it all start? I know you have the nip strips, and that's like a news source based on NFTs, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it started with the OG collection, right? Like the first 750 about. And then the nip strips are, and you know, all those characters in that first collection are bastards based on either celebrities or NFT isms, you know, or projects like blue chip projects, things that, you know, kept popping up in the news. So with nip strips, I'm able to, you know, kind of run two things at once. And it's using all of those characters from that OG collection, of all those bastards. And then also, you know, and exploring that story there and like building out a stupid fucking universe with dumbass stories that are funny. But then also it, like, a lot of it mirrors current events and things that are happening in real life, because I mean, it's all the same fucking subject matter, you know?
Yeah. A lot of the content seems to be written for you, and you just slap it down on the blockchain.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's like, you know, I try to always have some kind of like take about things, you know, instead of, so it's not just like fucking recording, and it's more of like, there's a point of view to everything, you know? So I think that's important too. And I think that helps it keep it kind of fresh and edgy when it comes from a point of view. So it's not exactly like journalistic, you know, integrity news, but I guess it's my interpretation of the world.
This day and age, it fits right in with mainstream news.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right? Like, fuck it.
Hell, you probably have more truth than them.
Well, see, there you go. Fuck. Hey, ladies, as long as I'm doing better than Fox News, what the fuck?
So, Hash, what, on a serious note, what's a challenge you faced other than market flux and bear markets? What's something that's really challenged you?
Oh, yeah. No, totally. I mean, like, I mean, this shit is not easy by any fucking stretch of the imagination. Like, you really have to. I don't know if I knew exactly how much time, like how time consuming it would be when I started this, but also I kind of just started it to see what would happen. And then I just like fucking loved it, you know? And then I was like, okay, this can be my thing if I work really hard. But it really is about like working really hard. But the where you run into challenges is like, it's very hard to trust people in the space. You know, I've known a lot of people that have kind of come and gone or done something that was like kind of sketch, and kind of, you know, disappointed me. Or it's just like, you know, people that I didn't have the character that I thought they did, kind of thing. It's really hard to trust people, so it's really hard to not do everything by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a coder. I'm not a developer. I don't know how to do websites. Like, a lot of this stuff you have to kind of teach yourself. And that can be tough because you can be, you know, brand new at all this kind of shit. And you're kind of just like fumbling through it like a kid trying to fucking ride a bike, you know, without their dad there to fucking help them teach you, you know. So you're just kind of trying to figure shit out on your own. It can be a lot of trial and error. It can be a lot of like ways, like avenues you go down that you look back and you're like, fuck, that was such a waste of time. You know, just shit like that. And I've run into things where I've stretched myself too thin on things like collaborations or, you know, because I try to be as, you know, accommodating to people as I can. And I want to be as helpful to people as I can. And I have built a lot of relationships because of that. But I mean, the tough part of that is like, it's really hard to keep up with all those people. I'm not saying like all those people like, oh, I'm fucking, you know, popular or whatever. I'm just saying like, realistically, it's tough to, like, as you start to grow and as you get more people around you, and as you have more things to do, it's tough. It's just tough. It's really hard to, you know, get all of your stuff done and then like be like, okay, how can I help, you know, the people that are asking me for help. And then the other, like, and this sort of ties into that too, but I'm in a weird spot because I think, you know, I consider my competition, quote unquote, to be that generative crowd, you know, like that's not competition, but it's like, that's the goal, you know, or the next step. That's like, that's the level that you want to be at, of like brand recognizable and, you know, notable, and trying to keep up with what an entire fucking team of 12, 15, 20 people are doing, you know, like with putting out metaverses and this and that, like that can be challenging too. And there is definitely days where you kind of feel like a fraud because you're like, fuck, I'm trying to figure this shit out just as much as everyone else is. And then you're also like, damn, there is a weight of providing for people, you know, or providing for people that have invested in you. I don't think everybody has that, obviously, you know, like people rug and people walk away and things like that. But I think if your plan is to do this long term, I guess that's sort of the way I'm answering this question is if you're planning on doing this for, you know, 5, 7, 10 years, like this is the kind of shit you're going to run into as you grow. And you just got to kind of stay the course and stick to your plan, and do what you can and deliver where you can. And, you know, you're going to find the collectors that respect, you know, you as an artist to the point where they're not in it just solely for flipping, you know, like, but they're there because they enjoy what you're putting out. And like that can be tough too, because in my mind, when I was, you know, trying to first sell out my collection, you know, I was trying to go after everybody. Like it was like wide net, and hopefully somebody bites. And I think that can be a mistake sometimes too that people make, because I think there's so many people casting that wide net that you get somebody like a Wench or a Simpers, you know, from Shillwater, or something that just like is different, or it's very not even a niche, but it's like just unique, and it has like a style and a point of view. Like people glob onto that shit, I think. So it's tough to keep up, man. It is, and it feels like it's impossible sometimes. But I mean, that's what fucking tomorrow's for, right? You just fucking get up and keep grinding. And you know, I think I said this to somebody one time, and I think it made sense. And it was like, we're all trying to build a fucking house, you know, with no blueprint, and like inside out, you know, it's like fucking tough, but it's rewarding and fun, and I think, you know, it forces you to be creative, and it provides me with that kind of challenge, you know, that like my ADHD kind of needs. where I'm just kind of obsessive about it, and I, you know, can't fail, so I have to just fucking go. But like, if that's not your mentality, like, it's gonna be very, very hard, you know.
You know, Hash.
What's up, Carl?
You're awesome, man. What's up, dude? I love your art and I love your social commentary, right? And you have like solid brand recognition. But I gotta ask, man, what's with the nips?
You know, it's funny. This is a great story, and I think this, you know, this is an example of being listening to your community and, you know, adapting as things grow and change. But there was no intention of the nips being like a thing. And I think it was around like Bastard like 50 that people started like, yo, why are all the nips out? And then I was like, well, I don't know, like they're fucking, it's nips, what the fuck? Everyone's got nipples. And then people kind of started getting fixated on it, and it started becoming a meme. And I was like, well, fuck. And then I started adding the shirts with the nipple hole, you know, and then it just kind of got out of hand. And then after that first, you know, 200 Bastards came out, that's when I started adding the nipple trait of, like, you know, the rarity of either like silver, gold, fucking diamond. Cause I was like, well, fuck it, you know, we're leaning into nipples, let's do it. So there you go. But it wasn't me. I did not start that shit. Like, that was the fucking freaks. They were like out there like, oh, look at this fucking, you know, drawing. They're like, oh, look at the nipples. So there you go.
That's extremely awesome. I love how organic it is, but I love how that became like a large part of your brand recognition. That's where it's at, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's so fucking stupid, but it is funny because it's like, you don't even, some of the shit, you know, that you just don't plan for it. That's something I would have never drawn up in like a, oh, okay, so this is my plan for this project, you know, like, what the fuck? But, you know, you just kind of adapt and go with the flow.
So, Hash, give me one artist or project or creator in the space that you really hold in high regard, and then give me one that you don't, that's the opposite of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. That's okay. All right. So I'll go. So my favorite, like, last year, like one of my biggest, like, oh my God, I want to be like that guy, was Sartoshi. The MFer guy, before he fucking bailed. He was, the way that he did like memes and fucking the shit posts, and I mean, he was just like, he was a fucking god at that shit. I mean, you know, and he was so good. His community was fucking strong as fuck, man. And that was a CCO project. I just really fucking respected him. And, you know, I messaged him one time and asked him about like that CCO shit, and he responded. And I thought that was really nice. And then like, but now, like, of artists that are left, like my top dude is David Horvath. I fucking love that guy. I think he is, what everyone should aspire to be from a brand standpoint. He's the creator of the Ugly Dolls. He's got, you know, all of his NFT projects. But he's huge. And I mean, it's kind of, you know, surreal, and that's one of the cool things about NFTs. Like, I was out there when I was a kid, fucking 5-6 years old, back in, you know, 2001, getting fucking Ugly Dolls from Target. And then, you know, he's out here making NFTs, and we've interacted, and he's fucking incredible. He's such a nice guy. but then he's got this fucking global, worldwide fucking brand, you know, with like factories in Japan and shit, you know. It's just like, this dude is wild. He does collabs with everybody, so I mean, I just respect the fuck out of that guy. People I hate, there's so many. I mean, I really hate HBA Crypto, the founder of Fishy Fam. He's probably my top. Like, I fucking hate that guy. He's a piece of shit. I don't like Farouk. I hate fucking Zagabond, and I hate Azuki, and I kind of don't respect people that are so bullish on them, because I think it's just about their bags. And there's some anime fuckboy bros, so that's kind of weirding me out. Who's also up in my top? OpenSea. They fucking piss me off too. I think that's a good top 4. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that top 4.
Hash, thank you so much. I really appreciate all your input. I appreciate you being here. So why don't you tell us where we can find Hash Bastards?
Absolutely. All right. Yeah. So I've always been on OpenSea. That's my main neighborhood where I live. You know, we're kind of in the slums, but it's all right. We love it there anyway. Got the link up there in my bio. Check it out. I've got a pinned tweet that sort of explains everything about Hash Bastards from the first collection all the way up until now. You know, sort of walks everybody through each collection and how they build off of each other. And you know, and during this bear market, I've adapted a little bit, added a free collection that people were able to mint. You know, just had to pay gas. And those were additions. Those weren't one-of-ones. And then, you know, that kind of turned into an airdrop collection for holders, as well as a free plus gas claim for everybody else. So that's been really great for getting new people in that can't necessarily afford the OG floor, or can't make it for a daily bastard raffle or whatever it might be. You know, I think that's valuable too. I don't think you should be precious in the price of your work. I think it's more valuable to have a lot of people own your stuff and really like it, you know.
Well, everybody, that's our show. A big round of applause to Hash and Wench and Carl. Carl had some questions, guys. He really was rested up. I'm very proud of him. And a huge shout out to J.GrayDigital, who's in here grinding with us. He's just doing it because he loves the community. He loves the space. He's been a real trooper for it, and I gotta give him big props for sticking in there and riding this thing with us. And a big shout out to Pablo Knight. Pablo Knight has a NFT vote off every month, and your last chance to vote this month will be on the 31st of September. So get in there and vote for your favorite NFT. I think we're down to 2 now, guys. So get in there. It all comes down to this. Winners get prizes. Participants get prizes. It's a whole lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what the next month is going to hold as far as the NFT vote off goes. But check that out at pabloknight.com, and you can go in there and know everything you want about the NFT vote off. Well, Everyone, that's our show. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I've enjoyed it. I had a great time tonight, and I look forward to the next show. We have already got great guests lined up. So stay focused and stay positive, and much toad love, friends.